The Handmaid's Tale Season 6, Episode 6 just came on. Major spoilers ahead. This episode is titled Surprise, and boy, did we get a surprise at the end of this episode. So the episode starts off where we left off. June and Moira are in Lawrence's car. They're in the trunk. He stops the car, lets them out, and they have kind of a discussion. Commander Lawrence is still obviously very upset about the death of his wife, Eleanor. He blames June partially, but I think he mainly blames himself for her death. They do have a bit of back and forth, and June just discloses the plan for Mayday with Commander Lawrence. Moira is like, hello, don't do that, but June just does it because I think at this point they have to trust him because they're in such a tricky situation. And so Commander Lawrence kind of lets her know, like, they're gonna put me on the wall. I'm very upset. People are turning on me. I had a plan. It's not working out. And so I think now he's understanding, like, okay, I'm gonna go along with this Mayday plan. I didn't get the vibe that he was planning on turning on June. Go to his house and he's trying to figure out a way to get them across the border. He lets them know, like, hey, we go quickly, my guy at the border will help you through. June asks to use his phone and they call Nick. So when June calls Nick, he is dealing with some stuff. Obviously, the last episode we saw him off that one guy that he had initially shot but survived. He kind of had to do it to kind of clear up some loose ends, and you can tell Nick is going through some stuff. Like, he's under a lot of pressure. He is with a woman he does not love. He is Gabriel's son-in-law. Like, clearly he's under a lot of stress. On the phone, June lets Nick know, hey, we left some things at Jezebel's. There are letters, there's documents. We need you to go to the safe and to get them. So Nick does go to Jezebel's. He gets the letters, but when he's leaving, Commander Bell is there with Janine, and it's awkward because clearly Nick is not seen around there very often. Janine kind of plays it off like, oh yeah, he's here every now and then. You had a favorite girl, right? What was it, April, May? And he lets her know, like, oh yeah, she's gonna be fine. I think she was transferred. So that was his way of letting Janine know June was fine, and Commander Bell seems like an idiot, so they just went about their business. Poor Janine. Moira, I guess, goes with a different person across the border while June and Nick are talking. So Nick picks June up. He's clearly just going through it. He's going through a lot of stuff, and he tells June, like, hey, can you just spend the night with me? I'll get you to safety in the morning. And June hesitantly agrees. And they play this, like, beautiful montage of how they fell in love. Some major moments in Nick and June's relationship. They're kind of setting us up for feeling certain ways about their relationship because, like, they did have something special. He has been there for June. He has helped her through so much. He's been, like, a trustworthy, reliable person in June's life. And so June really does trust Nick. He drives her to his house in New Bethlehem, but unfortunately, Gabriel is there. Gabriel is his father-in-law. He says, hey, wait in the car. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, go find Serena's house. And June is like, oh, no. So he goes into his house and he starts having a discussion with Gabriel. And Gabriel basically has his number. He's like, you know what? Where were you? And what have you been up to? I got a phone call about you. And I know you're up to something. And so Nick admits to being at Jezebel's, and you kind of leave off on the scene knowing that Nick has to say something. He has to give Gabriel something to kind of get suspicion off of him. And because he's in that house longer than 5 minutes, June obviously realizes, okay, gotta go to Serena's house. So she walks out in the rain and she knocks on the door and Serena answers and she's like, hello? So we have a really tough scene with Janine and Aunt Lydia. Aunt Lydia has come back to the brothel and she's telling Janine, hey, I have this great plan. I've submitted this plan proposal to the council. We're gonna get all the handmaids and put them in New Bethlehem, and they'll be part of, like, this birthing center. They'll be there to help. And Janine's like, no. There is no out. There's no help. I won't be free in New Bethlehem. There's no freedom here. Gilead sucks. Lydia's just like, you know how hard I work to help you? And Janine says, I don't want your help. I don't need your help. I don't want it. You know what I want you to do? I want you to admit that Charlotte is my daughter. She just can't do it. And Janine's like, you took my daughter away from me. That's what happened. You took my daughter away from me. That's the only way I'll forgive you, if you give me back my daughter. And Aunt Lydia's like, I can't do that. It's a pretty tense scene. Aunt Lydia walks away and Janine is just, like, trying to compose herself because she has more work to do. It's just so sad. Poor Janine. Aunt Lydia just can't, I guess, comprehend just how much damage she's done to these women. In her twisted mind, she thinks, like, she's helped them, or she is trying to help them. but she just has done so much damage, so much damage. So back at Serena's house, June has showed up, and June has kind of made up a story. She said she's there because she came to see if Nick wanted to go to Alaska and be with her and their daughter. And, because she can't tell Serena about Mayday. And so Serena's like, why would you try to break up a marriage? And June's like, well, you got me, I don't know. Yeah, but I need a place to stay for the night. So yeah, let me stay for the night because you owe me. And they have a pretty tense conversation about everything that they've kind of gone through. Serena basically is like, I don't know what I can do. I've tried so many times to make amends with you, but you'll never forgive me. And June goes, you're right, I cannot ever forgive you. Don't you think I want to forgive you? I would love to forgive you, but I can't. She throws out a bit of a threat to June, saying, well, if I'm the only person you trust here, maybe you shouldn't be like talking to me this way because, I can make things difficult for you. And it's like Serena has just not changed. She wants to change. She wants to think that she has changed. She hasn't really changed that much. And June knows that. And it's just awkward. But Serena lets her sleep for the night. And honestly, it's kind of tense because I was like, is she going to wake up to Serena completely betraying her? But no, it's not Serena that does that. June wakes up. She goes in the kitchen. She sees Rita in the kitchen and they embrace. And Rita lets her know, like, I found my sister. I'm living here. They helped put us back together. And waits till Serena's out of the room. And she goes, I'm here for Mayday. I couldn't tell Serena. You could help us. You could help us since you're here. And Rita's like, no. Because obviously she doesn't want to risk losing her family again. She's finally back together with her sister. Things are better. So I totally understand Rita's point of view, like not wanting to get involved in more Mayday stuff because she just wants to be happy and be with her family. Later on, Nick shows up to Serena's house and he just comes in and he starts telling June, like, let's go to Paris. Let's run away to Paris. We could go get our daughter and be happy and together. And it's always been you. I've always loved you. And June's like, what do you mean? You're married. Aren't you happy here? And, he basically just is begging her to go off and be with him. And then all of a sudden there's a knock on the door and they hide in the pantry. Serena puts them in the pantry and it's Gabriel. He comes in and while they're hiding in that pantry, Gabriel lets Serena know, yeah, my son-in-law, he helped us figure out a plan. He helped us thwart a plan by Mayday. Basically, he lets Serena know that they've closed down Jezebel's because Nick gave them intel that Mayday was going to do something to them at the brothel, and June is standing there with Nick, and she's realizing that Nick has betrayed her. Nick has betrayed everyone. And like, I understand Nick, in his mind, that was like his only way to save June. But in doing so, he just ruined the entire plan to get all of the commanders. And so June is in that closet and she's realizing like this man that she's trusted for years, that she does love, has completely betrayed her. And so she's still in New Bethlehem. The episode ends. That was a shock because I didn't think Nick was going to do that. I had no idea that Nick was going to do that. So that was pretty shocking. But I guess we're going to find out what's going to happen next episode. I cannot wait to find out. What did y'all think about this episode?